Hello, my name is Lauren and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to get back into shape after not playing for a while. And this is something I feel like I'm kind of been in the process of doing for the past few days. And so I took some notes on things that I like to do getting back into shape, and that's what I'm going to share in this video today. So my first piece of advice when getting back into shape after not having played for a while is to just kind of observe how you're playing. Our first reaction might be to resist what's happening. You know, when we're out of shape, we really don't like how we're sounding sometimes, so we'll want to like really quickly get back into shape or try to force our sound to be what we know it can be again. But I think it's better to just observe where you're at, gather information when you're first warming up, kind of just see where you're at and take notes so you can record yourself and just see what your problems are, and without trying to fix them right away, without trying to change them. So that's my first piece of advice. And of course, you can just take the day to warm up and just give yourself time, if you have it, to do all your favorite warm-ups. So some of my favorite warm-ups for getting back into shape are definitely harmonics, the regular harmonics, but I also like doing ghost harmonics, which are when you finger the high note fingering and then underblow it, and then it's kind of, I talked about it in one of my videos, but you underblow the high note fingering. So if I'm fingering high F, I try to get a really good sound on the low underblown high F, and then gradually I'll increase the airspeed without tensing the jaw or moving the lips too much. My lips should already be kind of forward because I'm getting ready for the high register. And already I'm using more of my stomach than I might if I just went right into hitting the high F. I'm relying on my stomach muscles more when I approach high notes that way, because I'm really relying on this a lot more than tension here. So I really like ghost harmonics and regular harmonics. Another thing I like to do that's kind of quirky and unique, I don't know if a lot of other people like to do this, but I actually like to spend time, especially when I'm out of shape, playing on the tube of the flute, just because I can feel a difference. Like it's almost like I can immediately tell if my throat is tense when I'm playing on the tube of the flute. So if you're playing on the tube of the flute and it sounds like, that's obviously it's not good. It means your teeth are in the way, your mouth is closed, but you can really tell a difference when you have space in your mouth, your windpipe is open, and you produce a sound that way. I also like to think of when I'm going from a low note to a high note, I think of the air direction changing as I'm playing on the tube. So if I'm playing a scale from the low register to the high register, I'll aim the air, here and then more across as I go up. And then my bottom lip is kind of getting involved, and that really helps balance out the high notes a lot of the time. So I really like playing on the tube, and I do notice a big difference in my sound. It's like it almost immediately reminds me what I need to do to play with an open throat, because I know what kind of air I'm listening for. So it's like a difference between which is very closed, and where my mouth is open and my lips are doing what they need to do to get a good airspeed going through the flute. So they're keeping a focused air stream, but the inside of my mouth, like I can feel and hear when my jaw is kind of dropped and in a good place, or if it's like tense. So I really like doing that when I'm getting back into shape, and I think it helps me a lot. So I often play through like slow, short pieces on the tube of my flute, and then I go back and play it on the flute and see if I notice any differences. Some other things I like to do when I'm getting back into shape are diaphragm kicks or who kicks. So yeah, you could do this on a 5-note scale, but this just kind of, again, gets my stomach involved, because I think, you know, a lot of times when I am coming back into this and out of shape, I'm kind of, you know, sometimes I can only be playing like from here up, like, you know, I'm not really using this, which is so important to produce a really beautiful, rich sound. So who kicks or diaphragm kicks, so I'm not tonguing, I'm just going ha, 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 and I'm feeling my stomach kick as I do that. And that really just kind of opens up, it gives you like, you're using a generous amount of air, and just kind of gets you using your air again. So I really like using those. And also vocal tuning. I love using vocal tuning, especially for high notes. So vocal tuning or throat tuning is you know, when you're singing along with whatever you're playing on the flute. So maybe, I don't know, I'll play a D scale going up. Well, something like that. And then when you can use vocal tuning. So it would, you can do this without playing the flute. You could just go ooh, ooh, like get used to singing along with what you're playing on the flute, and then try it together. And then after you do that, go back to just playing the flute, but kind of ghost the vocal tuning along with it. Move your vocal cords as if you're singing it, and what I usually find is that my high notes are much more balanced and secure, and they just feel a lot better. So I was doing it a little bit more that time than I was the first time, and I could already hear a good difference in my sound. So I really like using that, especially, you know, when I'm going into starting to practice pieces, which is also another thing I like to do. One of my favorite books to work from when I'm getting back into shape is this one. It's called Tone Development Through Interpretation by Marcel Muys, and it has all these like lyrical, beautiful, slow melodies and songs from different like operas and things like that. And I just go through and I'll play, and I'll play these pieces, or some of them, or some of my favorite ones, and I'll do all these things. I'll do harmonic fingerings, you know, wherever I can on the high notes. I'll like play harmonic fingerings on a high note passage instead of the written ones. And then I'll go back to playing the written, like the actual real fingering, and I'll try to carry the depth with me into the real fingering, because you're actually having to blow through more of the tube when you're using low note fingerings, and so you can kind of imagine, you know, you're still blowing through most of the tube when you use the real fingerings, which might not have as many fingers down. And yeah, I find just using harmonics, I'm playing more from the stomach. So anyway, I kind of digressed, but sometimes I like to do that. I like to use harmonics along with those melodies. I like to use vocal tuning and who kicks along with melodies and like carry them into music. And some other things I like to do are record myself. And the first day I'm getting back into playing after a little break, I might not be so big on like trying to change it. I'm just kind of gathering information that day, accepting where I am, how I sound, and going from there. So yeah, I'll record myself, see where I'm at. I like to listen to inspiring people that I really like to imitate certain tones. Maybe it could be singers or flutists who have like tones that have a tone with qualities you like to have in your own sound. So I like to do that as well when I'm getting back into shape. And then the last thing on my list is I refer to my troubleshooting binder. And I did a video, I'll link it up here somewhere, troubleshooting bad tone days. And this is something I've put together. I've had this for maybe 6 years. I've been putting together my troubleshooting binder where I'll have like a section on tone, technique, all these different sections, and tone is the main one I use. I'll have a section for low register, middle register, high register. I have a section for intonation, even circular breathing, and all these other things. So over time, I'll take notes when I practice every day. And so I said, like, one problem I might have one day is that my low notes are flat. Well, I can look in my troubleshooting binder and look at all the things I did at some point that helped me make my low notes in tune. So, I wrote all these things, and some of these things, only make sense to me. But yeah, I can just kind of show you on the screen. I don't even know. But yeah, so that's kind of the things I write. You can see, different issues that I've had and different things I wrote that helped me fix and correct those things. So I like to refer to my troubleshooting binder, add to it, in these times when I'm getting back into shape, I'll find something new that really helped me and I'll add it. And I just find things that I completely forgot about that I don't even remember using sometimes. So it's kind of another good resource that can help me get back into shape. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.